So recently when I started playing a new visual novel, Harmonia, I came across this message. Pretty much, please don't put a full video up of our game online or we'll take unspecified legal action. Gasp.
Hey, I saw this sign which said cookies for YouTube videos. Is this the right place for that?
Why hello there, Ashadow. How nice of you to join us. Oh, and the cookies are a lie.
What? But cookies.
Well, maybe the next time you visit Canada, but only if you do this video with me.
Fine, but I'm keeping you to that. We do have video evidence for it. Anyways, that intro, isn't it basically the same as the one most vegans will show?
Actually, I think there is a slight difference between this intro screen and most others. Namely, the illegal uploading of videos to the internet is steadily rising bit. Most just say, pirate us and we sue. Anyways, this got me thinking about the place of Let's Plays for VNs, and I came to the conclusion that Let's Plays, or at least full Let's Plays, are probably bad for the community. Now, to be very clear, I'm not saying that this is true for all Let's Plays. In fact, I think in general, Let's Plays are great, including full Let's Plays, just not for VNs.
Really? That's an interesting stance to hold. Anyway, continue, and when you've made your points, I'll bring my counter-arguments once you're done.
So before people jump all over me, let me explain why I hold this view. For most video games, there is a very large interactive element, and the players make the story of the game. As an example, Day 9's playthrough of the Warcraft 3 campaign looks very different from Husky's playthrough, and my own experience from playing through the campaign is very different from watching either. Visual novels don't have that level of interactivity though, or pretty much any interactivity for that matter, other than clicking through text. As a result, one person's Let's Play really won't look that different from the next, and apart from any commentary, nothing is really being added. Also, if you've already watched a Let's Play of a visual novel, there's nothing to be gained by buying it. You'll have already seen the full story, and that's all a VN really is, a story. Uploading a complete Let's Play of a VN to YouTube is piracy, and that is no different than just posting a full movie online.
Whoa, bold statement. Alright, well, let me make two distinctions before I start. The one between recordings of visual novels and Let's Plays of visual novels. If we're talking about the former, where you basically just have the game running on autoplay and you're not changing or adding anything to the original work, and it's a recording of a licensed visual novel, that is, a visual novel which is easily available to buy and read legally, then yeah, I'm not gonna defend that. If I were to take a guess, then my assumption is that these are probably the type of videos that Key are referring to with that intro screen for Harmonia. However, if you also include Let's Plays along the likes that, say, Lost Pause and Voices from the Dark makes, I think it's not just highly unfair to call that piracy, I think it's flat out incorrect. I do not know much about how fair use law works. However, as far as I do know, works that discuss, critique, satire, and are transformative of the original work are all protected by fair use. Here are a few examples of how this would apply to LPs of visual novels. 1. Let's Players nearly always add their own commentary and reactions to the VN, discussing what they like and dislike about the story and its characters. 2. They will often joke and make fun of the game when it messes up. 3. They sometimes add their own voices and accents to the characters, thus giving a different personality to them not present in the original work. And 4. Every so often they edit their videos, thus changing the audio and visuals from the original game. Basically, Let's Players take the original VN and make something new out of it. Someone like Lost Pause uses visual novels like the Sakura games and Necropara as a base for his own original comedy. He does not simply repackage the VN and hand them over to his subscribers for views and ad revenue. If a viewer were to sit down and watch an LP or play a visual novel, then they will not have the same experience as they would reading it for themselves. Again, I'm not in any way an expert on fair use, but I do believe that they are well within their legal rights to do this.
And my turn, I'm stealing back the mic. So let's talk about the people who do colorful commentary over VN Let's Plays. They inject their own personalities into the videos, and certainly people do come to watch, not because of the VN, but because of the person playing it. Are they legally justified to do so? Maybe, but I still have some issues with it regardless, at least if they're playing through the whole game. Even if people are coming for their personalities and not the game, they're still profiting off someone else's work without giving anything back to the original creators. As I said before, if you've gone and given someone the full story for free, why would they then go out and buy it? Now, some might argue, what's the harm in these types of Let's Plays? Everyone already watches movies and TV shows illegally online. What's the difference here? Simple. How much it affects the creators of the original content. If you illegally torrent something like Game of Thrones, actually, even if a lot of people do, the series will still make plenty of money. I mean, hell, they can afford to pay each member of their cast $300K per hour-long episode, and George R.R. Martin makes $15 million a year in royalties. In comparison, people who created even the most successful VNs make nowhere near as much. According to an Eroge industry veteran, Yamato Tamaki, the entire writing staff for a 60-hour VN might earn under $100K total. And by Steam Spy numbers, highly rated VNs on Steam tend to only make between $400K to $1.5 million total there. Obviously, then it hurts VN creators a lot more to lose revenue to morally questionable activities. The VN community is just starting to grow in the West. It wasn't an easy sell to get Japanese companies to release here, and given that Key is already concerned about Let's Plays cutting into their profit margins, I really don't want to see them leave.
So, from what I can gather, your second main argument against Let's Plays of VNs is that they would hurt sales, because after watching a full visual novel LP, the viewers no longer have any reason to buy the original game. Is that right? I do not believe that this is the case. I don't buy that VN Let's Plays would hurt sales. Now admittedly, I do not have any statistics to back this up. However, I did contact a number of visual novel developers and distributors for the creation of this video about what their opinions on the question is, and if they have any numbers on whether VN Let's Plays help or hurt sales. Most of the people I emailed did not reply. However, Manga Gamer, Sakai Project, Invert Mouse, and Jazz USA did get back to me on it. Manga Gamer did admittedly state that they are against full Let's Plays, and Invert Mouse wrote that he didn't know what the effects were. However, Sakai Project and Jazz USA responded saying that they are for Let's Plays. None of them had any statistics on the matter either, though. Shout out to all of these people, by the way. You are all extremely awesome for taking the time to help out with this video. But getting back on topic, since the 3 biggest VN distributors in the West don't have any numbers on how VN Let's Plays affect sales, it most likely means that no one has it, and so word just stand against word. Here are at least some of my arguments as to why visual novel LPs can actually help sales rather than hurt them. 1. It provides exposure to the game. When a YouTuber with thousands and thousands of subscribers make a Let's Play of a VN, it's a certainty that many of the viewers will never have heard of the visual novel before. If they think the story looks interesting enough, many of them will choose to stop watching the Let's Play and instead buy the game in order to play it for themselves. 2. It provides the developer with exposure. Hypothetically speaking, if a Let's Player makes a full playthrough of a VN and somehow no one decides to go and buy the game, it will at least still get the name of the developer out there. This may convince the viewers to check out and purchase other visual novels the developer have made, even if they never buy the specific VN that they watched the LP of. 3. It brings more fans to the VM medium as a whole. Basically a broader variation of the previous point, many VN Let's Players also make a whole bunch of other content unrelated to visual novels, and so as a result, many of their viewers are naturally first introduced to the medium through their channels. They are then more likely to start reading visual novels themselves, and, naturally, more customers means more potential money for all VN creators. And finally, last point. 4. People who pirate will always pirate. Granted, there will be a group of people who will deliberately go and watch Let's Plays of VNs in order to enjoy the story of the VN, not the personality or commentary of the Let's Player, thus intentionally not paying for the product they are interested in. And yes, I guess you could argue that this is a weird form of indirect piracy. But here's the thing, those people were most likely not gonna buy the VN in the first place, regardless of any VN Let's Plays or not. People who wish to pirate their entertainment rather than paying for it will always find ways to do so. So attacking Let's Players for the actions of pirates, thus ruining the fun for both the LP community and their viewers, I feel is going after the completely wrong target.
Okay, so let me go through those points one by one. Or actually not, because your points can pretty much be summarized as yay, exposure! And people who won't buy it now wouldn't buy it before, so no change. First, for the whole exposure thing, yes, exposure is great. but only if it leads to more sales, and honestly, what do people gain by buying a story they've already seen in its entirety and can rewatch anytime they go on YouTube? Absolutely nothing. The statements you provided by Sakai Project and Jast in support of Let's Plays certainly hold weight, but it is also worth noting that clearly Key is concerned about the effect of full Let's Plays on their sales, given their comments shown at the start of the video, and by your own admission, Manga Gamer is also against them. Also, as a more blatant example, the developer of That Dragon Cancer, a short game similar to a VN in its lack of replayability, has said straight up that complete Let's Plays of videos and streams took away from sales.
Okay, I apologize, but I have to cut you off here because there's a number of things I want to bring up. First, about the case of That Dragon Cancer. Look, if Let's Plays really did hurt this team financially, then I feel for them. That sucks. But this is a singular case. Out of thousands and thousands and thousands of Let's Plays, you can't do accurate statistics based off a sample size of 1. But about your counter-arguments against yay exposure, as you put it, yes, I will concede that many viewers will feel that buying the game after watching a full Let's Play won't be worth it, since they've already seen the whole story. But as I stated previously, many others will also decide to stop watching the Let's Play in order to go and buy the game and play it for themselves. If these two groups eventually equate to higher or lower sales, I can't say for sure. However, you also can't make the assumption that they will equal lower sales. Not when you consider that many viewers would never even have heard of the game without the Let's Play. But secondly, and more importantly, you just flat out ignored my second and third points about that VN Let's Plays provides exposure for the developer and the medium as a whole. Those are not arguments to be just brushed off.
Okay, fair enough. I'll do a better job of addressing those points. In terms of providing more exposure for the medium and publishers, I absolutely agree that Let's Plays do this. That being said, the all press is good press thing has never been true. There's lots of Let's Plays, or at least a lot of ones that aren't just straight up recordings of the game, which accounts for like 90% of them, that just consist of Let's Players mocking whatever game they happen to be going through. Commentary like, oh Japan, so weird, oh indie games, so quirky, and whoa, can be pretty entertaining, but it doesn't really help make VNs any less niche. It just turns them into yet another weird game that's fun for us to watch some quirky personality number 2 playthrough. That being said, I will admit though that there are some very good LPers who bring a lot of positive attention to the community, so the argument on that front does stand. However, I would like to raise a new point and address your whole people who won't buy it now wouldn't buy it before, so no change thing at the same time. There's a good way to get all the positives you noted from Let's Plays, while also not arriving at the negatives I noted. Just don't play through the whole VN. Do something like Total Biscuit did with Hatoful Boyfriend or Long Live the Queen, and just play through the first part of the story. That way you can still make your Let's Play and make some money, but since you're not going through the whole thing, it still leaves some incentive for people to go out and buy the visual novel for themselves. Notably, Key said that they're fine with demos, and Manga Gamer said they're fine with Let's Plays and streaming as long as it's not covering the full game from start to finish. Only doing partial Let's Plays makes the system mutually beneficial, and to be clear, I think Let's Plays are great as long as they drive people to actually buy the game. They should not, however, be a free alternative to playing the game.
Yeah, I can't agree with this either. That it's only okay to Let's Play parts of a VN, not the game in its entirety.
Really? Are you just trying to be difficult now?
I think it would be a bad idea because it would hinder the creative freedom of Let's Players. Here's the thing. Oftentimes, many viewers are not interested in the VN that's being Let's Played, and also are not gonna buy the game in the first place either. They are watching it first and foremost for the Let's Player's reaction and commentary of it, not the game itself. Going back to the examples of the Sakura franchise and Nekopara games again, these are games which many people won't particularly enjoy reading for themselves, but the very same people can enjoy Let's Plays of, simply because of the comedy people create for making fun of these games. Now don't get this confused with that none of the viewers are gonna go and purchase the game for themselves. I'm convinced that many of them still will. That's basically the point I've been arguing for this whole video. I mentioned this before, but I'm gonna repeat it to really drive my point home. Let's Players, at least the ones who know what they're doing and are doing it well, don't just repackage the visual novel and hand it over to their subscribers. They use it as the base to build their own original entertainment media off. and only being allowed to LP the first few hours of any given visual novel would prevent them from doing this.
How? That's a pretty big statement. I fail to see why not playing through an entire game prevents LPers from presenting entertaining and creative content. Let's be frank, if it was just the LPers that was the draw, people wouldn't care if they finished any individual game or not. It's because the people want to know what happens next in the story that the dev created. The LPers gain value from the work of the devs, and they should respect them. Yeah, it's easy to say who cares about the creators of fan service and cat fetish games, but there's also people who wrote masterpieces like Planetarian or Grisaia too. I don't know about you, but personally I would like to see that content continue to come out in the West. Even for trash tier games and brilliant LPers, the LPers are dependent on the VN devs' content. The LPers are going to profit by using, as you put it, the VNs as a base to build their own original entertainment media. The least they can do is make the relationship symbiotic and not parasitic.
Well, many viewers are going to want to see the LP's reaction to all the moments of the game. Say, for example, if the viewer knows that there is a major character death later in the novel, he would then likely want to see his favorite Let's Player's reaction to that moment. By forcing Let's Players to always leave their playthroughs incomplete, it would basically pigeonhole them into becoming first impressions channels, not actual LP channels. Now, there's nothing wrong with first impressions videos, but that's not the content that Let's Players wish to make, nor is it what the audience of Let's Play videos wants to see. And the point I've been arguing for this whole time is that I believe LPs do help sales, which means that their relationships are symbiotic by default. Either way, I think we're starting to argue in circles, so maybe we should round this off here.
Yeah, sounds good. Without any hard data, I really don't think we can get much further.
Yeah. Anyway, my main points were that I believe visual novel Let's Plays help sales, which Sakai Product and Jazz USA agrees with me on. I don't have any data to back this up, but my main arguments are that it provides the game, the developer, and the medium as a whole with free exposure. That said, I only really favor Let's Plays when they are using the VN to create something new, not just recording and uploading the game with little to no changes.
And I agree with everything you said, except the idea that full Let's Plays will boost sales. Having someone give your stuff away for free is slightly different from someone giving you free advertising. Now, as to you, the viewers, thank you for listening. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Cheers!
Cheers indeed. Cheers indeed.